This is WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. As both the men and women's basketball season is coming to a close, joining me to discuss the Pioneers today is Anthony, Joe, Justin, and Danny. Now, the men had a game last Wednesday against Rowan. Anthony, take me what you saw during the game.
It was a tough one for the men's team. If we look at the numbers right here, Rowan won by 40 points, 101 to 61. The one thing that I take away from that game, Rowan shot great from three. Eric O'Leary had almost 20 points. They were taking shots from 35 feet out and just thinking like it was nothing. It was a tough game for the men's team.
Joe?
I'd say on the flip side of those three-point shooting numbers, our three-point shooting was abysmal. We went 2 of 23 from beyond the arc. I tell you, if we're reading a story, I liked the first chapter. We came out 5-0 first couple minutes. And then after that, I mean, things went downhill fast. They came back, scored 17-2. They went on a 17-2 run. And after that, I mean, the game was just out of hand. We didn't really have much going for us.
Justin?
It was a very unusual start. I mean, William Patterson, they were up 5-0 because of free throws, and then it was all downhill from there. And they failed to contain Jerry Price, who was the NJAC Conference Player of the Week the previous week for Rowan. And Jonathan Hevelo came in during the second half of the game, and he was dominant too. So they just failed to contain the three ball and Price and Hevelo.
Danny? Anything you could take out of this game from the Pioneers?
It was a rough outing to say the least. For me, bench points is huge. Rowan had a lot of help from their bench, outscoring William Patterson 46-18. And to put into the perspective the three-point shooting numbers that Joe and Anthony highlighted, as the resident accountant here, in terms of like crunching the numbers, they were outscored 48-6.
Well, there's only 2 games left on the season, and they play the College of New Jersey tomorrow. And it's brink for the Pioneers. They aren't going to make the playoffs. Joe, let's start with you. Is there anything that you're going to get out of the season left from the Pioneers?
I got to go we're going to take a look at the Ramapo or TCNJ stats here. As you see, both of these teams are very solid. Obviously, neither of those games are going to be very easy. But I'm happy you ask because I'm looking at this Ramapo game that we're about to play this Saturday. I think that we have a good chance. And the reason why is 2 reasons. The first reason is that we've always played them very tightly. I mean, they're one of our biggest rivals. They're kind of the opponent that we know the best. And on top of that, they have the worst three-point defense in the NJAC. And who do we have? We have Sean Smith. I mean, that's a recipe for success, and that recipe is going to allow Sean Smith to cook some pretty good dinner.
Anthony?
Joe, I agree with you. You look at Ramapo, they're shooting, they have shot 340 threes this season compared to TCNJ, who shot 671 threes. That's 331 less if you want to do the math. We look at last week's game. Rowan completely dominated from the three-point line. If TCNJ can limit that, they're in good shape for this week.
Justin?
Well, I'm going to go against both Joe and Anthony and say TCNJ. Why do I think TCNJ? Well, even though, despite the fact that both the Pioneers lost to both Ramapo and TCNJ beforehand in blowout losses, I feel as if Malcolm McLeod is going to contribute the most. Besides, he had 16 points the last time out against TCNJ, and plus it's senior day, and I feel like Coach Chapman is going to bring out the best in all of the Pioneers players.
Senior day is a big day, Danny. You know, everybody's parents are going to be there. It's probably the last time that these Pioneers are going to play at home. What are you going to see from them?
Well, hopefully to play hard, go out with the bang. And honestly, like Justin, I'm also going with TCNJ. And simply because they matched up well. I mean, before they got blown out in the second half, they were only outscored by 1 point. So that's why I have to go with TCNJ.
If we flip locker rooms, the women made the playoffs. They clinched a playoff spot last Saturday. You know, it's been a good season for them. Danny, we'll start with you. Who's been your MVP?
Well, I have to go with Allison McBride. From some sources, I've heard her nickname is Big Red. Let's take a look at the stats. Averaging 7 points per game, 5.5 rebounds. She is one of the forces, one of the pillars on the inside. She has a few double-doubles, and honestly, she's the chairwoman of the boards, and she holds it down for William Patterson.
Justin?
I'm going to go with Madison Dulude. I mean, when you see her out on the court, she typically is playing with Alicia Giordano, and if you look at the numbers, 22.6 minutes per game, 11.6 points per game. So you can see she's learning under the veteran leadership of Alyssa Giordano as she's on the court, and Erin Monahan puts a lot of trust in Madison Dulude.
Joe?
JRD, I'm very happy that you reference Alyssa Giordano's leadership because that's who I'm going to go with as the team MVP. You're going to look at the numbers, and they kind of speak for themselves, as she is 11th in the NJAC in points per game. She's 21st in field goal percentage. But on top of that, the stat that I really want to highlight is the first one there, minutes a game. She is averaging the most minutes a game in the entire NJAC. You never see her on the bench. And I mean, it's that effort and it's that leadership, the floor general that she brings, is what really makes the Pioneers so
Very high motor. She's always always out there and always stays healthy. Anthony, what you got?
Well, for more defense wins championships, I'm going to go with Brianna Brooks, who has been the stalwart of that defense. She has 13 blocks. She's the reigning NJAC Player of the Week. She scored 17 points on Saturday. She can grab rebounds. She can score. She can drive to the basket. She plays defense. She can do it all. She's my MVP.
Well, the Lady Pioneers will be in Mawa tomorrow to face the Ramapo Roadrunners. Anthony, what can you expect from this battle tomorrow?
It's going to be a tough matchup. I know the record doesn't really stand out to you if we look at the stats right here. Ramapo, they don't have the best record. You look at it, they're only 3-13 in the NJAC, but they're averaging 61 points a game. They can shoot, but they don't shoot from three. That's the one thing. They can drive to the basket. If you can guard Allie Wickersheim and box those players out, prevent them from driving to the basket, prevent them from shooting the three ball, you should be able to win this game.
Justin.
Well, I'm going to say that for this game coming up for the Pioneers, that it should be an easy win for them. Besides, Ramapo is second to last in the conference. They have a 3-13 record, so they should just easily handle Ramapo as they head into the postseason. Just build up some momentum as they look forward to the playoffs.
Well, we hope that the Pioneers both end their seasons out on a high note, but we are going to go drop the puck with the NHL crew right after the break. Stay tuned here on WP Sports Desk.